Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Dad, it is the preview for the Sheffield Wednesday game this weekend. What are you going to hit me with today?
Well, you know something, it's going to be one of them games that if we don't blitz Sheffield Wednesday, I think the pressure will be certainly on Mason. I wanted to just cover something before we go any further. There's a strange fact that the ref for the Sheffield Wednesday game at the Hawthorns, it's
Yep.
exactly the same ref when that tragedy with our poor Mark Townsend happened.
Oh,
So
really?
let's just hope he's kind to us. But anyway, Dan. I'm officially worrying myself. Now, I'm blaming myself for being too over expectant. I mean, I still want Mason because, like Neil says, that you can't keep on chopping and changing the manager. I think
Yep.
on this occasion, I don't mean to be rude, but this is my own opinion, Dan. You ready?
Go on.
We've all wanted change. We've all wanted to get the deadwood out of the place. We wanted a young, vibrant manager. We've got it all, but it just ain't happening. I don't know whether Mason's confusing them. I don't know whether or not the tactics that Mason wants them to play, they're incapable of doing it. I don't know whether to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're a new squad thrown together. And at times, boy, do we look like it. We've got to remember that when we went to Ipswich, if we'd have won, we'd have gone up the table. Instead, it's such a difficult league that we have dropped down to the bottom. So there's fors and against. However, there's no excuse for an away fan to do all the miles that we've done, and they have one shot on goal. I mean, something. Even if you're lacking in confidence or you've got some kind of issues, you'd have a go, wouldn't you? How on earth are we going to score goals if we simply do not create enough chances? I'm beginning to think that he may need help of some description, or it might well be one of them ones where in the January transfer window, Shelley and Patel thinks, you know what? I've dropped him in the soup here. I've got rid of our flair players, i.e., Fellows and a couple of others. I'll put some money in, or will he sell Madja and make the situation even worse? So, but we have got something to be positive about, Dan. We've got some super players, but we can't keep on relying on the same players week in, week out, who now are letting us down. And I must say, I thought the keeper was at fault for the goal.
Yeah.
Stupid, dreadful goal to give away. And it's such a shame, because I know that we got up at the crack of dawn, and you know what? I will do it all again. And I wasn't thinking we'll blitz them. I'd have settled for a draw. But I think that the second half, Dan, it's one of the poorest performances that Albion have put in. I'm trying to work out in my tiny mind whether it was any worse than Millwall.
See, it's a good question there. And I think I'm going to tell about the fact that you've had thoughts about it and the fact that would you stick or twist with Mason? I think Phil put that in the comment
I'd
section
stick
down
with it.
below. You would, wouldn't you? And I think Phil said in the comment section down below, thanks for the comments, by the way, guys, on the previous video, the fact that we can't keep top managers, which we can't. We got to kind of stick with them at this moment in time. I think the Ipswich game as a whole, Dad, we did really seem to struggle attackingly. Don't get me wrong, looking back, I think defensively wise, we were really, really good, especially against an Ipswich side as many attackers. But when you
Yeah,
look at it,
yeah, yeah.
Dad, what I would say is what we're saying, oh, Ipswich are this really good team in the championship. They're below us in the league for a reason.
That's what I
That's
said.
exactly
Yeah.
that's what you were saying. And I kind of felt to myself going into the game again, if we really guard them, which is exactly what Shoutout did, you never know, we get a really positive scoreline. And it was interesting to see what Mason said in his post-match, the fact that one, it highlighted, I think, the fact that perhaps in the transfer window he wasn't backed enough. The belief, he said about the belief in his post-match saying that the players didn't have any, attackingly wise. But then again, he's actually set up them in that game to really how they're going to attack, how they're going to go about their game, about their business. And we didn't really have anything about them. Whether it's because, again, the lack of players, like he said, or it's because, Dad, I just tend to think the players we've got at the moment we're not utilising really, really well. Again, I think it's 2 goals in 13 games for Hegerbar. I think as Sean commented in the comment section saying the fact that we paid 4.6 million and he hasn't scored enough goals. Again, we're giving the benefit of the doubt he's going to get into this league, he's not going to set the league on fire. But then again, Dad, he has seemed to struggle. In my opinion, at this moment in time, I wouldn't say it's a crisis. I put a thing on TikTok, for example, saying that we went through a bad period or not the best period between Carlos Corberán's reign as manager when he had 11 games and pretty much 11 draws. And I think in that period there was a lot of fans, like myself, that wasn't impressed with the football. But then again, we got through it. And I think some people are saying at the moment, saying that, again, it's not as bad as you think, but have the performances in general, Dad, got improved?
No, I don't think they have, and I think you raise many good points there, Dan. And one thing I will say is be careful what you wish for. I mean, I was thinking earlier, I don't mean to throw you under the bus, but I'm going to have to.
Go
Somebody said to you, right, Carlos Corberán's available. He wants to come back.
Yeah, I probably would do. But then again, you can't always say these things because you've got to give Mason time at this moment. We're only how many games, like 10 or 12 games into the season. And when you look at things as a whole, Dad, I just don't think personally that we haven't been as bad as people say. But I think the underlying problem at this moment is the fact we're not scoring enough goals. And yes, we're not. But then again, Dad, it is surprising when we're putting square pegs in round holes by putting right back who are centre backs. And you got to think about we're putting strikers who are trying to play a formation where they need some help up top, well, they're not getting at the moment. And I just think injuries have had their problem with some other teams. So these same old excuses are coming in, Dad. But for me, for Mason, I just think maybe things need to be switched up a bit, especially with the team formation.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The trouble is, though, Dan, there's more questions than answers, and I think that I keep on coming back to it. Maybe it is expectation wise. Maybe we've got to write off this season and potentially next season. Because let's be honest, Dan. Let's just throw it out there. By a strange twist of results, we went on. Maja got his scoring boots back on. Hegenberg couldn't stop scoring for fun, and we went up via the playoffs. We would get absolutely mullered in the Premiership. So let's be careful what we wish for there. I feel sorry for Hegenberg, in as much as right, he's never going to be a prolific goal scorer, that's for certain. But he's got such a lot to offer with dragging the defenders. He's quite strong, and whilst he's dragging the defenders across, you players like Maja or a fit DK could capitalise on that, but we're not. I get so frustrated, and my frustration started. I wrote off Millwall as a bad day at the office, but my
Yep.
frustration started at Watford when it was just crying out to be hoofed up. I'm not a great lover of that, but just at least challenge the defence. Like you said a minute ago, Ipswich, I think they would have crumbled if we'd have run at them, but we didn't. So we play out from the back, which is sometimes gets my goat up, right, and we'll get to the halfway line and then we'll go back. So
Yep.
what's the point in doing that?
There isn't, I think in training they must go about way of we know Methven, for example, is noted to be one of the best centre backs in the league passing wise. And he is, and I think it's seen it many times when the ball's gone over the top, and I think it's Price or Hegebo trying to get onto it. And it sometimes does work. But then again, Dad, we don't really at the moment. Under Carlos, I saw it quite a number of times. But under Mason at this moment, I don't see players really going over the top, over the ball, and really put themselves forward and create another option just because they're sticking to their positions. I feel like Illing Jr. on the wing, he's got a bit to prove by himself. I mean, of course, I think he's playing the Champions League last year, for example, so he's got something to offer. But then, Dad, you come to the fact that Mowat and Diakite, I thought again Diakite had a good game in midfield. With Collier and Malumbi out, Dad, is that another underlying problem at the moment?
Again, I was thinking about this the weekend. I don't know what Malumbi's done, Rob, but he's the only player in my eyes who physically gives everything. Yeah, he may not be the most technically gifted or skillful as Moet, but he does offer some. I think if about three or four players had the same burst of energy and commitment and bit of pizzazz, so to speak, we'd be all right. It begs the question, Dan, is wonder what we'd be doing now, right, if Mikey Johnson had buggered off to Brazil.
That is the worry actually, because with Mikey Johnson, Isaac Price, without their worldies, can you name me realistically in the moment in the team at the moment, Dad, who has actually scored a good goal? Don't go, I got your Ealing Jr. And I'm not saying worldies, worldies will count them out at the moment. A good team goal or goal that realistically you should finish. You got matches against Norwich, which again we'll finish that straight away. You got Nat Phillips against Stoke, which is a good finish. But then again, we're not creating those chances anymore. We're not going to be able to rely on Mikey Johnson, Isaac Price every week, or even Ealing Juniors to really have a shot from 30, 20 yards out to put in the top corner every week because we won't be that lucky. And we saw it against Ipswich. We actually created nothing, didn't we?
That was quite frightening. But I looked at Mikey Johnson, right, and for all the skillful stuff he was doing at one stage, He makes you wonder. I thought he went like this. For Christ's sake, give me some options because he was
Yeah.
going round and round and round. And he must get really frustrated. I just think, yeah, here's one for you. Do you think it's a case of we just need to click into gear and we'll be all right? Or do you think it's going to be a case of the more times he plays these players out of position, the more their confidence is going to drain? And he's just going to make bang average players even worse? Or is he? Or is it a case of, right, they need to regroup, get Mr. Nestor in and say, look, this is what we're trying to do. Yeah, we've had a difficult season so far, but hey, it's only early days. I just I just don't know how they're going to fix it. Can they fix it as a collective with Mason at the helm then? Is it fixable, or are we being too over the top? I mean, all right, at the end of the Ipswich game, everybody booed. I don't think it was that bad. I just think people like me have got this mentality. We go away from home, we spend a lot of money, and we expect Albion to turn up, blitz everybody on the coach or on the train, drive, boom. It's not going to be like that, is it? And I think the frustrating thing for me is that this league is difficult, but bloody hell, you've only got to string a couple of wins together and you're up there. Again, Mason for me, Dan, is the man because if we get rid of him now, we're going to struggle financially, and then who's going to want to take the job? But there's a lot of things going on in my mind. In as much as right, I think Jace Wheeler Jr. done a podcast on about getting this certain player. In all fairness, Dan, unless they're paying a huge amount of money, does Albion look an attractive proposition to come to?
Perhaps they don't. I mean, guys, leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I mean, what I would say that what you said a minute ago, I think the mentality of being an Albion fan at this moment in time, thinking that we should be this top gun in the championship, I think them days realistically aren't as good as they used to be. I think with the team we've got at the moment, it's going to be a transition where we all knew at the start of the season we're not going to be up there definitely, we'll be in around the playoffs at a push. But then again, Dad, I don't think, as you said, we should be rolling over these teams week in, week out because I don't think we've got that firepower like we used to have when we come down from the Premier League. And I think you've got to give time for Mason, for example, where, don't get me wrong, he's got these bunch of players where he's brought them in, Nestoraz, and there are some good quality additions we brought in the summer. However, they're going to take time. And I think with his style of football can be perhaps a bit defensive, a bit negative at times, but they've got to work with it. And I think in the championship, there aren't a standout team, except for Coventry and maybe Middlesbrough push. There isn't, like you said. And I think the booing, I also mentioned what you said a minute ago about the booing. I want to know your thoughts, guys. If you went, did you boo? I mean, what was the reason behind that? Don't get me wrong. I think everyone stuck to their opinion and should do whatever. But then again, Dad, I didn't think the form was that good. I wouldn't boo the players, but I just felt like perhaps for the confidence, for example, it's not going to do the world the best, is it?
No, I think from my point of view, Dan, you've got to you've got to allow people to have their opinions. I mean, they've paid a lot
100%.
of money to get there, like thousands of others. I was just more, I was saddened by the performance. I wasn't
Yeah.
angry. I was just saddened, thinking, bloody hell, you haven't even attempted anything in the second half, and
It
you
was like they
haven't
were
even
scared of him, wasn't it?
yeah, you know something, Dan. I think, and I've said it for a couple of games now. I think our confidence is getting quite low, and I think that if we're not careful now, right, if we put too much pressure on the players, and it's going to be the case of you don't know what you're doing to Mason, and we've got to remember Mason's just cutting his teeth in management. I mean, okay, he didn't have to take the job; he's took the job. I think he's got some great. I think one of his what he's got some great ideas, but I think one of his issues is he was a top class player in his time, and he was England international. But like somebody said on the vlog recently, he's never been a first team manager as he's coached a lot of players. And I was thinking about this the other day. I mean, look at Michael Carrick when he was at Middlesbrough. They were flying. He's gone now, and Frank Lampard, he's had a rocky road. So I'm going to lay my colours to the mast. Yeah, we cannot keep blaming the managers, right?
No.
Stick with him. But at what stage do we start to think we dropped a clanger?
Yes, I think the performance at the moment, you could perhaps have a little vouch for the fact we're not scoring enough goals. And if we keep sticking look how we're playing at the moment, it's not going to work, Dad. I mean, coming on to Sheffield Wednesday, they're a team, of course, that's going into administration. And I think while they've gone into a bad part of the club at the moment in time, they're going to be up for it because they've got rid of their owner. And I think the players now have the freedom to think to themselves, right then, we have the biggest chance of staying up. Let's really go out West Brom this weekend. They're not going to have the best of the conference teams. And you're going to think to yourself, I wouldn't be surprised if they get anything out of the game, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a point at least because they've got some quality players. And it depends really, Dad, if we can contain, like, I feel the atmosphere at the Hawthorns at the moment, there's a lot of expectation. And at this moment, I don't think while the players are reaching that, I think the fans are thinking, right, why are we winning games? Because it's a work in progress.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that trouble is when you say Sheffield Wednesday. Do you remember we went to Wednesday and got absolutely mullered?
Yeah.
Do you remember? And it
Yeah,
was
one last
literally
games of the season.
yeah, it was literally the case of the Barry Bannon show. I think if we can contain Barry Bannon, I think their threat is gone. But no, I am going to be confident. I think that Wednesday are going to come to town and think, yeah, we'll roll the baggies up. They won't. I think we'll have a comfortable 2-0 win. But I do agree with him. Again, it's one of these ones whereby should Wednesday get an early goal, oh my days, I'll be one of our biggest critics. But hey, listen, game of football, anything can happen. I know we seemed a bit doom and gloom, but I'm just saddened more than anything else because
Yes.
we're lucky to be where we are as a club with all the financial situation, and we just want something on the pitch just to give us that spark, Sam.
Exactly, and I think away from home, what I would say is we're used to it type of thing. I don't know what it is the mentality of the players at this moment. Just the fact that when we start a season, we play really, really well, and it seems like we got a bit of gas. Like last season with Carlos Corberan, we started up and a run of games. We were top of the league with Sunderland. We were loving laughing. It's, oh my God, this could be our year. When realistically, I think with the teams we were playing, we probably knew we had some real upcoming games we wouldn't win, but and then we of course went down the table. However, you look back to the Val season when we were under Val, we had a really good start to the season and then dipped. This season, really good start to the season, and we're dipping a little bit. You don't know what it is, mentality, confidence. Maybe, again, because you said it to me about Carlos Corberan, are the players being pressured too hard about how they're going to play and they're not really coping to the energetic way that they need to play? Um, I mean, the main positive I would say that is the fan base at the moment. Really, really good talent, especially for Watford and Ipswich.
Yeah, considering, I mean, I had to get at me pit at what 5 o'clock Saturday morning. Again, it's no guarantee that you're going to do any good, but I just wish that the players would realise, right? Just have that bit of
Yep.
creativity. Let's not be so pedestrian. I mean, in the middle of the park, there is nobody there who's snapping at people's heels or even giving somebody. Do you ever see any of the Albion players give verbals to anybody saying, "Come on, lads, let's
Not as
let's
much
pick
anymore, do
ourselves
you?
up"?
Not as
No,
much
you got
anymore.
he's one, and he's one to our loyal viewers. If you're doing a school report on the Albion, right, and you have to score them out of 10, what would it be? Mine would be 6 out of 10.
Okay. I mean, Dad, before we go on, actually, who have we got on this week?
Oh, we've got the man himself, yeah, always got some interesting points. Georgie boy.
George, we got to say?
Hello everyone, thank you very much Paul and Dan for having me on. Delighted to make my debut, I think, on All Things Midlands. I think it's my debut, I'm not too sure. But yeah, let's get our teeth into Saturday's game against Sheffield Wednesday. So we'll start off with the Ipswich game. Chance of you don't know what you're doing, directed to Mason at the end of that game. One shot on target. It was very, very poor. It seemed like we set up to draw, barely any chance in the game at all. Just a really lacklustre performance against a very, very bang average Ipswich side. And the goal itself was from a mistake. A hospital pass by Griffiths that just ended up playing us into absolute danger and left Jack Clark a very easy tap in after he saved the initial effort. I think it's just a simple case of we need to shoot more. If we don't shoot, everything we play is happily going to sit back and just relax, as Ipswich Town very much did in their game against us. I think it's about time we experimented and tried two up front. Eggerbo ain't been cutting the mustard. Eggerbo, however you say the bloke's name. He's not been shooting enough at all, and he's been too honest, in my opinion. He gets knocked about and wrestled all game. It still just stays on his feet. He needs to start going down and appealing, because he's getting past the joke now, and he needs someone up there with him, because we all know he can't do it on his own. Let's just give it a go this week. Let's experiment. Whack Madger up there with him. Whack DK up there with him. Who cares? If you're just going to leave him up there on his own, his confidence is going to get lower and lower each week. Yeah. If I was going to compare Albion to a team this season, I'd say we're very similar to Leicester City. A lot of our goals are just, I guess, moments of brilliance. We don't really have a style. at this moment in time. I couldn't tell you how West Brom played. It seemed like everything went out the window after that Derby game. I think Jason Wheeler put it best on Twitter. We lost to Derby. They sat back, played horrible, nicked it, and we thought, you know what? Let's try that every week. And it's just been an absolute slog. Real big changes needed. This is a real test for Mason, I think, whether or not he is ready for a management position of this stature. Obviously, he did well at the start, but things have, I guess, plateaued lately. So it's very much how he is going to react to these setbacks. What's he going to do? How's he going to change things? Because at the minute, it seems like we've got plan A or plan A. So, yeah, real big change. This is the perfect opportunity to do that these next 3 games. We've got Sheffield Wednesday, we've got Charlton, and we've got Ipswich. Not Ipswich, we've got Oxford. Charlton's going to be a very tough game, but Sheffield and Oxford at home are bankers. We've got to win them games. If we don't win them games, there is serious doubts, in my opinion, on whether he's ready to do this job or not. Because with the quality of some of the players we've got, we should be doing better. Sheffield Wednesday, obviously coming into this game, they were a wounded animal, still are a bit, obviously with the situation behind the scenes. But, you know, they're in admin now. It seems like there's potential that they could have a buyer. It seems like there's a feel-good factor at the club in such a dire situation, which, you know, only Sheffield Wednesday, a club like Sheffield Wednesday, could do that, I guess. So I think they're going to be up for it. The fans are going to be very loud in that away end. They're going to be fired up, and I do think they will get on the score sheet, knowing how much we like to gift goals. Seems like we defend really well and then just pass them the ball and say, you know what, here's one for free. So we're bound to do that again. But I'm gonna be positive, I guess. I've got a feeling, well, we should win this. We should win this game. I'm going West Bromwich Albion 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. And if we don't win this game, like I said, serious question marks, because the last few performances have not been great at all. So we need a big change. Go on, Mason. We're all behind you, turning it around. I just want to further say, yes, again, thank you very much for having me on. Love this channel. Great videos. Love the content. And yes, it's showtime.
Thanks, George, do really appreciate it. There's some good points in, Dad.
Yeah, he does, and he always talks a lot of sense because he's like me and you and thousands of others, always home and away. And
There's some brilliant vlogs, doesn't he?
Yeah, good to have him on. And I'll tell you something, let's get some more viewers on, because the more viewers we get on, the more opinions we can have on. I'm hoping to do a live debate, but we just need some candidates to put the names forward. Because, you know, something, at the end of the day, right, we're just Albion nuts, aren't we? And what we say is just our own opinion. It's not right, it's wrong. We just want everybody else's opinion. And you've avoided the question with Sheffield Wednesday. What score are you going for?
I'm going to stay confident with you. I'm going to go for 3-1 win. I think they'll get an early goal, but I think we'll have a bit of quality, hopefully, to turn the game around. I mean, Dad, some people, like I mentioned to you, also mentioned the fact that perhaps, are we missing Asante? Scoring lots of goals for Coventry at the moment. I put a thing on Twitter saying that would he score goals in this Albion team at this moment, and people disagreed. And I probably agree with them. What are your thoughts?
Well, I like Thomas Asante. I think he was one of these players. I think he's better than Hegenberg.
Do you reckon he is? But would he work in the system that we have at the moment?
No, I don't think he would. We've got to stop this business of going back, because otherwise somebody will say, well, yeah, Reece Cleary scored a worldie, but whenever I saw him play for Albion, it was lacking something. But again, we've all got opinions.
Yeah,
I think,
exactly.
you know, wouldn't it be brilliant, right, if suddenly we beat Wednesday, got some confidence, Pricey got his shooting boots back again, all the back line got a bit of confidence, and we had self-belief. And you know what? We got to the halfway, and I thought, right, let's blitz them, at least have a go, and we never looked back.
You never know. I mean, going into the game, Dad, Diakite shined for me at Ipswich, and I think he'll start against Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, defensively wise and tackling, I thought he's ace, but passing wise, not as good, Dad. What are your thoughts?
No. Yeah, I just think at the moment we're definitely a team in transition. I think we've lost our way somewhat. I think at some stage we need to regroup and just get some momentum going, get some consistency going, because We win one, we lose one, we win one, we lose one. I think that, the crazy thing is, though, you look at our away record, okay, we've had some horrendous, compared to the others, we haven't done that bad.
Exactly, exactly. You know,
But
it's sometimes the
but
home form as well needs to improve.
we used to be a fortress, but listen, Dan, listen. It ain't all doom and gloom
No.
just yet. At Wednesday, against Wednesday rather, this weekend, early kickoff, we'll be fine. We'll be absolutely fine.
Looking forward to all
Because
the Wednesday fans coming down, may I just say.
yeah, I am as well, and I just hope that the game goes well. I think that on the other vlog we've got to talk about Cov City and the boycott, but we won't talk about it just yet.
We
But
won't
it'll
talk
be
about just
interesting.
yet, but may I just say a little thing about it, Dad? I've looked at on Twitter, for example, how much have Albion put the prices for the Blue Noses?
Go on.
I think 20, £25. Again, but will they match it for us? We don't know. But we
Of
will
course they
see,
will.
guys. Guys, what are your thoughts on the commentary price? I know you've seen them. Put down in the comment section down below. I mean, Dan, anything else to say before we go?
Yeah, if we can all collectively have some faith, get behind the lads. We can't keep up. We can't start booing because that'll be it, and Mason will probably walk. But we always got to live in hope. The Lord's our shepherd. We're all bonded by belief. We'll all be there like lambs to the slaughter. Dan, just stay safe. Have a good day. Couple of days. See you down the shrine the weekend.
I mean, before we go as well, Jace Wheeler, will you be drinking on Saturday morning? And will you be, Dad?
I certainly won't, but I know you will because you've got to do the
I've
Halloween.
heard that one before. Heard that one before. Guys, thank you so much for watching as always. Leave your comment down in the comment section down below. What is your score prediction for this weekend? Who would you start in the team? Dad, would you start Magic? Would you start Hegbo?
I'll drop Madger. I'll drop Madger. Yeah, I haven't been
Good.
very impressed with him. I haven't been very impressed with him at all. But then again, Eggenbo on his own. But let's wait and see.
Like and subscribe and peace. What time is it?
Hey,
It's
showtime.
showtime.